as promised earlier, tonight was the evil Dr Shank's interview. This time last season, we had no idea who this man was. Yet tonight, Steve Shank is the man everyone wants to hear from. Steve Shank. Steve Shank is at the centre of the furor that erupted when officials at Seagull Mazarell called a surprise press conference announcing they had reported themselves to the governing body, AWEX. Seagull Mazarell management cited a supplements program administered to exporters and possibly some brokers from 2010 onwards, the very same period that Steve Shank was in charge of the lunches. Please welcome Dr. Steve Shanks.
Hey!
Welcome, Shanks. It's a simple question and answer tonight, and I'd appreciate your utmost honesty.
Of course.
Something would have been passed down to you from Michael Manning, no doubt. I'll put it to you firstly then, Steve. You've been described previously, amongst other things, as a despicable cunt. More despicable than Jim Michelle on a Chinese trip. And more despicable than the Arcadia team dealing with fucking past ins. You have also been described as the pharmacist. Who exactly are you?
Well, I am a despicable prick. Not quite in Jim Michelle's beat, and I do consult for Graham Pepper. Over the past few years, I have been working at the house of the farm, studying and experimenting with exotic supplements derived from extracts of sheep plants. I am not a pharmacist, but a pharmacist, as in F-A-R-M, pharmacist, with a PhD in organic farming and a certificate 3 with honours in alternative farming from Wagatech. I also hold a masterclass stencil from AWEX.
Were Mazarell officials in the dark as they have so often claimed?
Yeah! It's the blind leading the blind in that place.
Did you work alone?
Nine. There was a collective involvement, namely from high-performance guru Pat Berry, and detailed consultation with Daryl Tucker, if you can believe that, and all the mystery days at Seagull Mazarell. I also consulted with someone called the Chemical Monkey, who had strong connections with the Lance Armstrong cotton wool buying team.
Was there anyone else in high places involved?
Yes, the evil Dr. Morgan. And someone only known as the Wool King were the brains behind it all. AWI Research and Development came up with the idea of stimulating the part of the brain that buys and sells wool. The original compound is known as merino peptide, but was banned by AWEX after trials on dangerous Dave Williams increased his IQ from 8 to 88 and also increased his penis size 8-fold, which he then tried to insert in Karen Wheeler's ear in an attempt to give her a brain child. The evil Dr. Morgan then approached me to come up with an exotic, not so erotic, alternative with a promise of a fat cat job with AWI through his connection with the Wool King.
What were the names of some of these exotic supplements that you developed?
Dopa 423, Caracal 56 and Awasi 425.
Is it true then that Swan Wool have taken out patents on these new types?
Yeah, well, I believe so, yes.
Where were your evil operations based?
In a container office at Packers that Jeff Lawson gave me.
And why, may I ask, Packers?
I enjoyed the Wilson brothers pretending to be the Beach Boys. It's also next door to Tech Wall now, and their shit doesn't stink.
Were buyers and brokers aware that supplements were added to the lunch sandwiches and roast roadkill roll?
Yeah, the supplements appeared on the AREX alteration sheet every day as non-conforming lunches. If anyone bothered to fucking read, if they can read at all, or count.
Can you name some of the people who were affected by these supplements?
Jerry, Gremlin, JYD, Woodsy, Del Tucker, Lockie Brown, Philip Tigger, Lipscomb, and Mark Quartermain, clearly on some other planet. With or without supplements, and Mike Mannion's fall down the stairs can be attributed to supplements and alcohol abuse, and not the slip as he has claimed. He was, and still clearly, is off his face. Probably Karen Wheeler was the most affected because, one, she was originally a man. Two, she had a personality. And three, she actually smiled.
Can you name anyone who may be at risk of tough AREX sanctions?
Tough AREX sanctions are as rare as Arcadians selling casting lots at big, and as useful as shit on a stick. But Matt Hand and Andrew Jackson have self-imposed exiles, and there's more to the Victoria wool sell-off than meets the eye.
There's a bombshell. Who was actually responsible for testing the supplements for banned compounds?
I'm glad you asked me this question. I'm glad you asked me this question. I have done the research. Obviously, AWTA were keen to continue their stranglehold on the wool industry, so another fucking additional testing method, or FAT-M, was conceived by John Billy using agri-food technology. The FAT-M provided an analysis on enzymes affecting the part of the brain that buys and sells wool.
Are there any other AWTA test methods? And as with all test methods, are these typically not guaranteed?
There is the team formula, which stands for test everything and make money.
Is there a conspiracy theory?
Seems AWI, AWX, AWTA have something in common.
That's interesting. What do they have in common?
All their names begin with A.
Can you confirm, then, that Philippe Chabert of Lempriere is actually your evil mini-mini in disguise?
Yeah! The steroids he has taken have had the reverse effect.
Okay, moving on. Now that you've surgically separated Queer C and Viterra by administering what can only be considered as a fucking large injection of commercial reality, how do you think the Queer will now move forward with no one to tell them what to sell and buy?
Who cares? The last injection I administered to the monkey caused him to assume a fetal position under his desk, rocking backward and forward.
Have you ever injected shithead of the year Harry Wilson?
Once, but I understand he became quite confused that day after receiving buying instructions from the monkey that actually contained real limits and not a photocopy of Al's crossbred limit sheet.
You've been known to counsel a lot of young and up-and-comers in your time while injecting them, correct?
Yeah, well.
In your experience, speaking purely professionally, have you ever come across anyone more overrated than me? And do I honestly think I'm too important to venture into the silo rooms unless socks in India?
Yes, you are full of self-importance and far too up yourself. I've tried the vast arrangement of my own blends manufactured in our Hamilton lab, but I can't seem to get your membership into the Melbourne Boys Club.
Would you say I'm a lost cause?
Yes. 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 Who invited you here anyway? And who invited you here anyway?
While administering Brendan Miller's head-reducing and ear growth hormones, have you ever caught him in a compromising position with Barry? My nose is not the only thing that's purple, Baxter. And what do you think is the nature of this relationship?
Barry and Brendan have a deep relationship built on mutual trust, respect, misogyny, and supplements of anal numbing cream developed over years during Adelaide sales.
Given your talents, is there any supplement known to man you can give Prima to make him relevant?
I'm sorry, there's none that I know of. But it's been good at getting rid of everyone unfortunately.
Finally, Dr Shanks, was the supplement program a success?
Given that the AMI went from 898 to 1409 in 2010-11, this should indicate that the part of the brain that buys and sells walls was turbocharged, to say the least. And even Mark Dyson paid $6 grand for a fucking wool pack here last year. So yes, the supplement program was a success, but since then it's been banned by AWEX, and as a result, we have that 40 markets. I might add that every year seems to have found a Chinese supplement which acts on the part of the brain that can't stop buying wood.
Thank you, Dr Shanks, for this insight. We wish you luck for your next project, which I believe to be is the development of a lanolin compound that is absorbed through the skin that helps the brain to think of making more than 1.5% profit margin on wool. I also believe that you will continue to work on an antidote to bring room back to the real fucking world.